The Walmart FLW tour on Lake Hartwell started with a gorgeous sunrise at takeoff and ended with a cold, sopping wet weigh-in that left the anglers as wet as the fish they were weighing in. In between, the fishing day conditions were blustery and frigid, with northeast winds gusting to 30 miles an hour. The miserable conditions tilted the table in favor of locals who know where to duck and dodge out of the wind for a quality bite. In all, 3 of the top 10 hail from South Carolina, starting with leader Casey Ashely.
Casey, you just told me that you put in some time here. You've been waiting to have your turn, have your shot on this lake. Look like it's working out good for you.
Yeah, today it did. You know, man, the weather's so screwy. It was 70 degrees the first day of practice, and then the second day it got cold. The last day of practice it was brutal, and today it's been brutal. I mean, the high's been 40, the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour. And pretty much, you know, I didn't even get to fish all my stuff today. You just have to fish what was protected. And but the fish are changing every day. They're not doing what they're supposed to be right now.
I've heard that this lake through the winter didn't go through a drawdown. It stayed high all winter. Do you think that's affected the fish behavior?
No, it should have made it better. You know, the weather's what's making it screwy right now. I mean, 4 weeks ago, you could catch a fish any way you wanted to, from 2 feet to 50 feet. I mean, they were really, really biting. I mean, the lake was as good as I've ever seen it. But I don't know, I guess all this warm weather got the bait scattered and the fish went with them, and now they're just roaming. I mean, you'll get a bite. You might get a bite in 10 feet of water. You might get a bite in 30 feet of water. You just got to fish everything and keep an open mind.
You weighed all largemouth today.
I did weigh all largemouth, but I caught several spots that I culled through. Be honest with you, in practice, I caught more spots than largemouth.
Did you run a lot of the lake today? Did you run looking at a lot of stuff, trying a lot of different stuff, or did you just generally commit to one area?
Well, I ran a long way. As far as, I probably fished 2 or 3 different creeks. It's creeks that I know big fish live in. And when you get an overcast day like this on this lake, it doesn't matter how cold or nasty, that's when you catch big fish. And, you know, tomorrow may be a different story. I may catch them better tomorrow, but I won't be shooting for them. I know where they live, that's a fact.
At any point did you say, I caught 2 good ones out of this creek, I'm going to leave it alone, save it for tomorrow? Or did you stay in a place and just beat it to death?
No, I kind of knew some stuff that I was going to do, and I actually didn't even practice some of the stuff that I caught them on today. And 2 of the better fish I caught right in front of a boat, and I'm kind of hating that, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Still got stuff that I hadn't fished yet because the wind was so bad today.
Thank you. Skip, we got lucky today and ran into you on the water. Looked like you favor that, let's just say, stained water.
Yeah, the stained water definitely helped me. Some creek bottoms, and just grinded it out today with the rattle trap. Found the right spot, sat in one spot this morning, and I was pretty much done by about 8:30 this morning.
I had a couple people in there tell me the guy that's over there in that boat wore them out. Every cast this morning was pretty good.
Yeah, I got about 30 or 40 fish. It was amazing. It was probably about the best day of fishing that I've had in quite a long time. So.
What was there that's holding that many fish?
There's a creek channel, and they're pushing the bait up in there, and I found them in practice, and I was hoping they'd hold, and luckily they were still there. I put that whole speed boat right in the right spot. I power poled down and sat there and just blocked everybody else out and did what I had to do.
Just one, it's like one single cast, a perfect cast.
Perfect cast every time. I had it dialed in exactly where to go and just literally put it there every single time. I had 20 casts and 20 fish in a row there for a while, so just straight going and going and going.
You're going to need some of that whole speed tomorrow to get back there fast, beat everybody.
I've already told my co-angler I got to pull all my tackle boxes out to be the fastest boat to get back there. So, yeah, it's out. Everybody knows where I'm at, so.
Sounds, John, a wet, cold, windy day on Lake Hartwell today, and I would say, like, let's have you tell us how you're fishing, but we all know how you're fishing for largemouth.
Yeah, I'm just running the bank, and I think with that way the sun came out the other day, some came to the bank, and you know, got lucky today and hit a couple stretches and caught a few back to back, and you know, just ran that whole boat, that crest liner out of gas today, and just went all over the whole lake, and but we had a good day, and you know, ready to get at it tomorrow.
Kind of rough out there today. How'd the crest liner hold up?
Yeah, it was pretty rough from even the get go. We got about a 3-mile ride up to takeoff, and yeah, it was pretty rough, but it handles it fine, and you know, ready to go tomorrow. I
assume stained water back of the pockets and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I started doing that, and then I actually came out to some of the clear water and started catching them about halfway through the day, which was kind of weird, but.
How many keepers on the day for you?
Oh, maybe 30 or so.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a lot of them all day.
Now, did you run into any spotted bass at all during the day?
I did catch a few of them, but they weren't no size or anything. But
The weight you had, what time did you have it by?
I don't know. I upgraded one more time around 1, but had them by like 11 or so.
Now, are you running something that you can run in a lot of different places, or are you just in one area, grind in one place?
No, I can. So far, I've been able to run all over the place, which is pretty nice.
Are you running into any crowds in these places, or you got them to yourself?
No, I'm just kind of if there's any boats, I just kind of skip them and go on the ones that there's no one in.
Jason, been watching the weigh-in. I'm no dummy. I figured out, let's see, Casey Ashely's leading. You just had a big bag. You're both from South Carolina. I'm starting to see some local advantage playing here.
Well, we just like these type of lakes. They fit to more of our style of fishing, and, we can adjust a little bit. So,
I mean, it's wacky. Everybody's talking about how wacky the weather is, and the lake's been up all year, and everything's just really different. Seems like you guys that just doesn't seem to bother you. You know kind of historically what to do and what feels right on days like this.
yeah, you do, and it's it's typical Clearwater herring lakes. The fish are trying to do one thing, they're not there doing it, and the fish are not relating to the bottom at all. So you've got to kind of relay that, and without kind of letting anything out. I moved around a lot today, and I caught a bunch of fish, and I kind of laid off of them because I was catching the same size fish. If the sun will come out in the next 2 days, if I'm fortunate to make it, I think you can see some real big bags. This weather here is not really hurting it, but it's hurting the opportunity to catch a real big bag.
Is it something you're running lake-wide, or is it more of an area you get in one area and stay there and milk it?
Well, you can run it pretty much lake-wide, but, this lake's so big. You can run up a lot of time, and with that wind blowing today, I had to just narrow it down to a couple areas and get in there and catch them, because you could spend a lot of time running around. And it's not like the fish are easy to catch. You got to get in there and work, and it's one specific deal that they're on. And you got to fish slow, but you got to fish fast.
Right. You got to keep moving your places, but when you get in the right place, you got to present slow.
Absolutely. There's one typical deal that you key on, and the fish are there. You see them, they're there, but you just got to get them to bite.
Do they replenish? Like if you catch 4 or 5 off of them, can you come back later?
Yes, they're there all day long.
Good. All right, Ramie, cold, miserable day here on Lake Hartwell. And I know you're not the type to get out there with a drop shot in 50 feet. Looked like you weighed all largemouth today.
Yeah, like I said, practice was tough on me. I didn't catch many fish, but last night I just kind of threw everything out. I tied 4 jigs on and fished just like, how I like to fish, just transition banks, kind of rock, make sure it was some rock or some wood. And, I had 7 bites all day, caught all 7 of them. And I didn't fish but one creek. I figured my time was better off with a bait in the water and just fishing slow than it was running up and down the lake, so.
Especially with it so windy. I think a lot of people forget it takes a long time to run from one place to the next when there's 2 and 3 footers out there.
Yes, of course I stayed, close by, and I got some more places, up Tougaloo, I guess you'd call it. But I figured today, with the way the wind was going to blow, I'd just stay close by and fish and just button down and just cast and try to catch fish,
What time did you have your weight by?
I had the limit by 11:15. It started off this morning. I caught one right off the bat, and then it was about every 30 or 45 minutes I would catch one. I just kept going from one bank to the next, and just methodically just worked it out plumb to the mouth of it, and caught what I caught. So hopefully tomorrow I can go to another creek and do the same thing.
A different creek?
A different creek, yes. I'm not going to go back to that one because I pretty much blistered that one today.
Martin, first question, largemouth or spotted bass for you today?
A little bit of both. My better fish were largemouth.
This lake here, this is your home lake?
It is. I've been fishing it pretty actively for about 20 years and dreaming of this day when I could compete with the big boys.
To have your shot at fishing in your backyard like this?
Well, I've won some medium-sized tournaments, but nothing of this magnitude. And I felt like this time of year was sort of a good time of year for me. And so far, so good. It was really tough early. The last hour and a half, I helped myself about 10 pounds. I had 2 fish at 2 o'clock.
Now, when you know the lake as well as you do, I know you got 1,000 spots you want to try all at one time. How do you control yourself and giving it time, trying not to catch a limit on your first cast of the day?
Well, it was easy not catching a limit early for me today. I have all these honey holes, and I went to them and went to them, and nothing was happening. Okay. And I just said, go on instinct. And I caught my last 4 fish. I caught 8 fish today. My last 4 fish were off places I hadn't caught fish in 10 years. I'm just running the conditions, and if it felt right, I stopped there, and it was magical.
Just like a 2 or 3 cast type spot?
Well, no. I mean, one place I caught 3 fish in 5 minutes. And then another place was just a single special spot that just looked right. And I just pulled in there and I said, I got to get rid of this dink 1.5 pounds, and I catch a 3-pounder.
Knowing the lake as well as you do, I understand this is the first year that this water's been high like this all winter long. Has that, in your opinion, affected the fish at all?
It absolutely has. I still think there's a residual from what happened over the summer where the thermocline never set up because we had so much rain. Okay. The fish are not, I mean, there are some fish deep, but they're not where they normally are deep. Okay. Okay. And there are some fish shallow, but they're very, very stingy.